Hello and welcome to Walk the Talk. I'm Shekhar Gupta in the lobby of the Oberoi in Bombay, in fact driven indoors by incessant rain. And my guest somebody, before I introduce him, let me say something. It's extremely rare that you see a journalist, particularly someone like me, say about somebody who's not a sportsman, maybe, that my guest today is one of my favorite people. But this one is, and I'll tell you why. Uday Kotak, before I let you speak, I'll tell you why you're one of my favorite people.
Thank you, Shekhar.
Because you are a self-starting, self-made billionaire who personifies Bombay as a city of dreams. You've also seen Bombay decline from its status of the city of dreams. And you also have ideas on how to fix this. And you've done this starting from fairly humble beginnings, including Hindi Vidya Bhavan as your school.
That's correct.
So you also conform to my formula of the reign of Hindi medium types, HMTs, in India. So Uday, welcome to Walk the Talk.
Thank you very much, Shekhar.
Such a privilege.
Delighted.
When you started in Bombay, it was a different kind of city.
You know, Mumbai is for me what I call as a Jadui Nagri. So my father actually migrated back from Karachi, Pakistan at the time of 1947, and he came into a joint family in Mumbai. I was born into a family home where 60 people stayed under one house in a common kitchen. And the whole ethos was a very traditional Indian Gujarati joint family. And the learnings out of that in Mumbai were just enormous.
And your business was cotton trading.
Family business was cotton trading, that is correct. And I, therefore, as I grew up,
which was soon about to go out of fashion.
That it was going to reduce in its dominance. And you actually grew up in a setup where it was capitalism at work and socialism at home. So the concept of equilibrium was something which was deeply imbibed in us in the city of Mumbai. And the beauty about Mumbai was it was extremely cosmopolitan. It was an open city and a free place for you to grow, be creative, be different, and be bold.
So how does a young Uday Kotak grow out of a family like that? Decides to do something which is not the family business.
You know, Shekhar,
finds the right thing to do, and today not merely becomes one of the wealthiest people in India, that's still easier, but also has created so many very wealthy shareholders.
Shekhar, it's about when I was completing my MBA at Jamnalal Bajaj, I had the option of joining a global company or a multinational like Hindustan Lever, which was across the road from Bajaj. I sat down and had a chat with my father, and he said,
"You'd be the head of shampoos and soaps, or toothpaste and mouthwash by now. That will be a top job."
So I had a chat with my father, and he promised to give 300 square foot of office space in Flora Fountain, and that was a big thing. And I was always interested in something in the area of finance and financial services. So I set up a small bill discounting business, which is essentially coming out of a controlled Raj, which is what India was.
Now, since this is not a business channel, explain bill discounting.
In simple language, in those days, banks used to lend money at 17%, and banks used to take deposits from savers at 6%. So
arbitrage was 11%.
Arbitrage was 11%. A friend of mine had joined a Tata company called Nelco from Bajaj.
It used to be called National Echo.
I remember Radio and Electronics.
I know, many of us are our first radios from.
That's correct. So he said that Nelco's suppliers needed to get money immediately, and Nelco was paying after 90 days. So here was a bill of exchange accepted
for
by
90
Nelco.
days.
At the end of 90 days, Nelco would pay, and it was a Tata company. And those suppliers were finding it difficult to get bank limits even at 17%. So I went to a few family friends and asked them, what do they do with their money? They said, what a stupid question. I put it in a bank. So I said, you earn 6%. Instead of 6, if you get 12%
Right.
from a Tata company, what is the harm? They said, if you can do it, that is great. And I went to my friend at Nelco and said, instead of 17, I will give you at 16. But give me more business.
Right.
So at 12 to 16 was my spread, and I was in business.
I mean, does your bank's tagline come from there now? 6% is more than 4%.
But it is just
Because 16% is less than 17.
That's correct.
And 12 is more than 6.
That's correct.
Huh.
And having said that, therefore, these were the very basic roots of
What do bankers call it? NIMs.
net interest margins or
yes.
spreads.
Right.
So that is how business started, and it grew and grew. And thereafter we went into different activities. I'll give you another example of cars. We started in 1989 to finance cars. Till then, only one bank in India had started financing cars, which was Citibank. And in those days, the way car financing was done was, it was flat rate of interest.
By the way, I bought my first car second hand
Uh-huh.
from T.N. Nayanan,
Okay.
who's the chairman of your newspaper company. He was my colleague, my boss, in fact, at India Today at that point. It was a second hand Premier Padmini.
Uh-huh. So there was no financing of cars. And the effective,
For which I borrowed from the company in 85 because
Uh-huh.
no bank would give me money.
that's correct.
30,000 rupees, I think.
And we got into car financing. And in those days, cars were in short supply. Therefore, how did we compete with the mighty Citibank in 1989? We said we will book Maruti cars and give customers immediate delivery. But
Oh.
if they got immediate delivery,
They had to borrow from
they
you.
will take financing from us at the same terms as Citibank.
I see.
And that's how we got into car financing. And that again grew. So when I think about it, at the end of the day, keeping common sense principles of what works for a consumer or a saver is what is the basis of building a finance business. And that has worked.
And then you took your friends along with you in whatever you did.
That's correct. That's correct. And I had some of my closest friends become shareholders of the company day one. Of course, Anand Mahindra was the original shareholder. He took a small stake.
You became friends, I believe, because you were doing business together. I mean,
That's correct.
You were going to him, he was your client?
Anand, I went to Anand as a customer first,
I see.
and that has built into a friendship. Then, of course, my two other close friends are Cyril Shroff and Amit Desai, both from the legal fraternity.
Yes.
They have always advised me, which has kept me out of trouble.
Everybody knows both, and I know both, but Amit is quite formidable because I've hid behind him in some tough court cases.
Yes, and it's a friendship with Amit and Cyril, which I deeply value. And I am a believer that relationships matter a lot. You have to sort of build on relationships, build trust, and over time, they hold you in very good
In
stead.
fact, relationships are the most valuable stock in your life.
Absolutely. And that's the flavor which remains with you. And it's about trust, it's about how you feel comfortable. And
But I
think
believe
that's
his
very
friends
important.
did very well
Yes.
with these investments.
That's correct. I think we have been fortunate. Kotak Mahindra Bank, if you look at from 1985 or 86 till today, over 28 years, people have it has produced a return of 48% per annum compounded, and an original investment of 1 lakh in 1986 is worth 700 crores today for those investors.
And Bombay was not judgmental.
Bombay
in-
was not
in
judgmental.
dealing with you.
No.
People you met. Say someone like you and Anand Mahindra, one of your best friends. You have completely different origins.
But that it's all about chemistry. And
Yeah.
Anand, over years, has become a friend. But it was
Right.
originally a business client relationship.
Right.
But it's about trust. And
Well,
Anand
I
is
mean, sharing your brand is the
Yes.
ultimate expression of trust.
correct. And Anand has been excellent. And I think I respect him. If there's something really important in my decision-making process, I will go to him and sound him off before I do it.
All of us need referees in life. In my case, very often that referee would be, say, Arun Shourie.
Right.
He may say yes to my ideas or whatever I want to do, but you just feel more reassured.
That's correct. And my three anchors in that way are Amit, Cyril, and Anand.